No let-up in Russia's vicious aerial assault on Ukraine. Paratroopers have just landed in the second largest city, Kharkiv, and are fighting on the ground with local forces, while Kherson in the south appears to have fallen under Moscow's control. Karianne Greenbank has the latest.
The main television and radio tower in Kyiv, taken out by 2 Russian missiles, seen by many Ukrainians as the first attempt by the Kremlin to cut off communications and further demoralise the population. Below the tower, a memorial to tens of thousands of people massacred in Kyiv during the Holocaust. 5 killed this time, the victims of an invasion Vladimir Putin claimed was to rid the country of Nazis. An hour out of the city centre, more devastation. Apartment buildings and roads turned to ruins, a playground in flames. At least 4 people were killed in a strike on Zhytomyr. The apparent target, a nearby airbase. Instead, homes and lives destroyed. In the centre of the eastern city of Kharkiv, Freedom Square smashed into rubble, bodies of civilians carried away. Ukrainian President Zelensky said there was no military target here, labelling the attack outright undisguised terror. Crucially, though, Russia's 64-kilometre-long convoy outside of Kyiv has not advanced much closer in the past 24 hours. Its scale and proximity has raised alarms. The military may be planning to put the city under siege and intensify its bombardment. Still, the mayor maintains we will not give up Kyiv. A chilling example of Russia's tactics is playing out in the southern port city of Mariupol. It's a key strategic area for the invaders, whose forces have it surrounded. Survivors being offered a bleak choice: leave now or stay and die. In a nearby town, Ukrainians managed to stop a Russian convoy. Undeterred by gunfire or the soldiers' frustration, "Go home, fascists," the locals shouted. "Are you going to shoot us peacefully?"
Men, women, children are dying because a foreign leader decided that their country has no right to exist. And we will never, ever let that happen and never, ever accept that.
European Parliament heard a desperate plea from President Volodymyr Zelensky to let his country join the EU now.
We are fighting just for our land and for our freedom. Nobody's going to break us. We're strong. We're Ukrainians.
Heightened emotions too in Poland, as visiting UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was accused by a Ukrainian activist of not doing enough.
I see that my family members, that my team members are saying that we are crying, and these are Ukrainian children who are there taking the hit.
Ukraine's largest paediatric hospital has been evacuated of its young patients, except those too sick to leave, despite the risk of nearby shelling and gunfire. This boy just underwent neurosurgery, while 5-year-old Rozwan needs 6 kidney treatments a day. His mother says she feels scared for her son. Partway through this interview, the air raid siren goes off.
We have alarms, we need to go. Okay, let's go.
And the rush to the basement begins, where children, parents and hospital staff shelter in dingy corridors. Hospital staff have been able to set up IV drips down here, and they've been able to supply medicine, mattresses and blankets. But when the time comes for these children to receive treatment that they can't get down here, that's when their parents must make a harrowing choice. 6-year-old Artemy's mother says when his kidney dialysis starts, it takes 5 hours and can't be stopped even when the air raid sirens go off. The treatment room is exposed and vulnerable. His mother saying we're choosing between the risk of attack and the risk of stopping a life-saving treatment. Of course it's dangerous, says the children's doctor, but we can't just stop if the rockets hit. Some of Ukraine's most vulnerable children thanking their soldiers for keeping them safe.
Karianne, the team visited the site of the bombed TV tower in Kyiv as sirens went off.
Well, behind me is the TV tower that was hit with this blast. As you can see, the damage stretches far beyond this tower. It goes right across the road, all the charred remains, the debris. As you can see, people are moving now, so we might have to leave as we go. But there's a building that's had its windows blown out. There's cabling that's been melted. I won't show you, but there's a body across the road as well. Russia had warned that it was about to attack communications structures. They're in our fears. There are more attacks to come.
Karianne Greenbank in Kyiv.